Hey, what's up folks, Victor with Phone Arena here with a review of the Alcatel One Touch Idol Alpha, a mid-range Android phone with really standout unique looks. It's got this translucent strips of plastic on the top and bottom, it's got a decently large display, and it runs on a MediaTek chip. So how does it perform in real life, and what about its price? So let's find out about all these features right away. The Alcatel One Touch Idol Alpha has a stylish and unique translucent plastic strips on the top and bottom that make it stand out. It's aluminum on the sides with chamfered edges and an elegant body, sleek and pleasingly lightweight. Altogether, this is clearly a device for those who want to stand out in the crowd with a phone that is stylish and unlike any other, but without being over the top kitsch. The Idol Alpha has got weird capacitive buttons located right below the display. The actual keys are not marked. Instead, the marking is below them, and that is a strange decision, but you get used to it after time. On the right side there is an aluminum lock and volume keys that are also made out of solid aluminum, and they don't wobble at all, feeling solid and clicky, but unfortunately they're a bit too flush and with less trouble than we'd like. The Idol Alpha comes with a 4.7-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 720 by 1280 pixels. It's decently sharp, and in terms of colors it's neither too cold nor too warm, plus it is vibrant, even a bit too much as some of the colors are oversaturated. The screen can get reasonably bright to 486 nits, and that's hugely important for comfortable outdoor viewing, but at the same time it's also very reflective, so overall outdoors you'd need to stare with a bit of extra effort to be able to read what's on the display. The Idol Alpha ships with Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, and needless to say we would have liked to see a much newer version of Google's operating system on board. Alcatel is also using its own custom skin on top of Android to customize its looks, but most of the customizations are skin deep, focusing on changing the icon set and lock screen rather than introducing new features. That's not necessarily a bad thing though. We like Alcatel's simple and light skin that does not hog down Android and yet manages to stand out with generally likable, flat and modern icons. Instead of a roaring Snapdragon chip, the Idol Alpha runs on a more modest and cheaper MediaTek system chip. It's a quad-core solution running at up to 1.2 GHz that gets the job done well, without much of a stutter for casual apps and games. And more demanding games do run on the device, but frame rate is slower and gameplay is skippy and not very enjoyable. The Alcatel One Touch Idol Alpha arrives with 16 gigs of built-in storage, there is no microSD card slot and hence no expansion capabilities. And out of these 16 gigs, 13.3 GB are actually available to the end user, and that's something to keep in mind. You can surf the web via one of the two built-in browsers on the Idol Alpha, Chrome and Alcatel's custom solution. Chrome seems a bit better optimized for the not-so-fast silicon of Alcatel's phone, while the company's own solution is a bit slower, but generally surfing the web is not as lag-free as we would have liked. In terms of connectivity, the Idol Alpha does not support 4G LTE. Instead, you have HSPA 3G mobile data along with the usual set of connectivity options including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0 and GPS, but there is no NFC. The handset features a 13 megapixel main autofocus camera with a single LED flash, and there is a 1.3 megapixel front shooter. Images from the 13 megapixel camera on the Idol Alpha look fine for a mid-range shooter without being exceptional. Colors are rich, exposure is okay, and there aren't any huge glaring issues. The camera can also capture HDR images, but the process is painstakingly slow. Indoors, images start getting noticeably grainy and lose their relative color accuracy. Even with no flash on, colors noticeably pale out, losing their liveliness, and pictures as a whole look washed out. Switching over to video, you can record 1080p footage at 30 frames per second, and the recordings look fairly smooth and very detailed, not bad at all. With a decently large 4.7-inch display, the Idol Alpha is perfectly fit to entertain you on the go. Its video player is perfectly prepared for the task as it plays back all common video formats and codecs we threaded at even 1080p resolution. For music, you have a pretty bare-bones custom player by Alcatel and Google Play Music on board. Both get the job done, classifying your music by songs, artists, albums and genres, and both display large and impressive album art. What we're not so impressed with is the sound quality via the single loudspeaker located on the back of the phone. Its quality is fine for a smartphone, but it's just a bit too quiet. Call quality is decent on both ends of the line and we encountered no huge issues. Still, however, the voice quality leaves room for improvement. Voices in the earpiece for one sound audibly distorted, coming through with digital noise on the side. The Idol Alpha sports a 2000 mAh battery that definitely seems scarce when compared to other similarly sized phones. Nonetheless, official figures show that the phone lasts a fairly good 10 hours in 3G talk time and around 15 days on standby. What do these numbers mean in real life? Our experience shows that you can hardly get more than 1 day on a single charge, and under heavier use you'd have to recharge during the day as well. And now finally, in conclusion, we ought to say that we really appreciate the unique visual style and appearance of this mid-range handset. It's really different than all the rest, and you might want to have something different in an age where everyone has a Samsung or an iPhone and you might just want to stand out with this device. However, in terms of performance and value for the price, it's not really all that good. The MediaTek chip is not among the fastest ones, its camera doesn't stand out, and its price is a bit overpriced, actually very overpriced at the moment. We saw it was available in a couple of markets for the same price as the Samsung Galaxy S4, or you can get the LG G2, two flagships from last year that have much better specs, much faster, much better in terms of performance, so you might want to look at those. And for a detailed review of the Alcatel One Touch Idol Alpha, make sure to go to phonearena.com. Thanks for watching.